my name is Mike Rampelberg. I'm the principal for Greater Boise Property Management, one of the most respected property management companies in the Greater Boise area. And we manage single-family, duplex and quadruplex homes all the way from East Boise through West Caldwell. Vacancies can eat the heart out of your profits. And how much do vacancies actually cost? So let's look at a normal vacancy, one that you get 30 days notice for, and that should be well over 99% of your turnovers. If you're concerned about evictions, please see the link at the end of the blog that gives you our recommendations on how to prevent evictions. When you're looking at the cost of an eviction, you need to consider not only the lost rent, but all of the costs, including the utilities, landscape, deferred maintenance that you're going to perform. And you need to think in terms of that turnover being measured in days, not in weeks or months. I mean, weeks or months, the numbers just get way too big. And while we're here, give me just a moment to do a sidebar about deferred maintenance. If you've got work that needs to be done, you probably ought to do it at the time you become aware of it. Because if you wait until the property is empty, you've got negative cash flow with no positive cash flow to offset it, and you're extending that vacancy. Two of the most important factors in minimizing vacancies are having a long residency for your tenant and having a short turnover time between tenants. So let's take the long residency first. That is a function of selection. That happens at that point. So you want a good tenant, and by the way, good tenants have lots of options. Anybody's going to rent to them. So your home needs to be in A-class condition, and it needs to be competitively priced. You also need to select a tenant that is likely to have a long tenancy. So you would set your criteria up that it might have, for example, a longer rental history, or maybe a fixed income. Anything that would indicate that they're going to be there for a longer period of time. The second point is really the turnover time, and that is the time that it takes you that you go without rent, essentially. And so in order to minimize that, you have to have an incoming tenant approved before the outgoing tenant leaves. In order to do that, you've got to start advertising as soon as you become aware of the opening coming up. You need to have a good listing. You need to have a good selection process that's fast and accurate, and you need to be able to show the property. To be able to show the property, you need to have the provision in the lease that you can show the property. If you'd like wording, give me a call. Not only is it just selecting and having the tenant ready to move in, but you also have to have the home ready for them to move in, which means that you need to absolutely crunch the time between the outgoing tenant and the incoming tenant, which means that you don't want to be doing a bunch of deferred maintenance in that time frame. So, to summarize, to minimize vacancies, you want longer tenancies and shorter turnovers. If we can help you do that, give us a call.